So the next morning, the day after the Mariah Carey concert, we had, I believe it was a 10 a.m. flight, 10:30 flight back to San Francisco. So, call my Uber, left the hotel by 7:30ish, right before 8, get to the airport, zip through security, zip through TSA, and then go and post it. And here's the deal. Like I've already mentioned, I'm the type of person that would much rather sit for an hour or two, as long as that means I got there early, right? Remember that for the flight to Vegas, I was not sure. And as a matter of fact, it was the last thing on my mind. I had just assumed that Peter had either canceled or completely changed his flights, right? Totally wrong. This time, again, I was sure, or I kind of had the idea, I knew that I was going to see him, right? And it's so interesting because on the way over, I literally saw him while we were boarding the plane, or I had already boarded and was in my seat. And this time he made it maybe 5 or 10 minutes before we started boarding. And I remember telling this story to Michelle, and she was like, wow, that would have annoyed the shit out of me. And she's absolutely right. I don't remember from our Chicago trip him being that irresponsible, but I also think that I was just kind of taking the lead. Anyway, the thing is that maybe 45 minutes, an hour before we started boarding, they made an announcement that they were looking for 6 volunteers who wanted to sit in the exit row. When I tell you that I shot up so quickly and started running across the airport because I was on the other side, right? I want to be close, but not too close, not in the big crowd. A bunch of shit started falling out of my bag, so I had to stop and gather some things up, but nothing, absolutely nothing was going to stop me from being one of those 6. So I think I was number 2 or 3, and everybody's laughing. And again, not only am I 6'4", so this is quite a scene, but I'm 6'4". I'm gonna get me an aisle seat. I'm gonna get me, I didn't realize until later that exit row seat technically could be a middle seat, but I got the aisle seat in the exit row, so it didn't matter. And I actually think that flight lady was hooking me up fat. Anyway, I bring all of that to say is that I moved from the middle of the plane to damn near the front, just with that tiny little adjustment. So this time, ironically enough, I was almost in the front row, and Peter got put all the way in the back, like literally the second to last or last row. And I do know that because I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to take my one look to go sit, to go look where he's at, just to bide my time. Of course, we met eyes, and I saw that he was sitting all the way in the back. So, I got the aisle seat, I got the exit row seat, plane takes off, land in San Francisco, a little bit of a delay there as well, not a big deal. Lots of airport delays these days, but I digress. I got up, and I knew that I wouldn't necessarily have to run. I knew that there was no way that we would get stuck on the same BART train. There's no way that we would get stuck crossing paths. So technically, that one time that I looked back on the plane, I want to say it was shortly after we took off, was the last glance that I ever got of Peter. I don't think it will be the last one I ever take or see. I think that with my luck, I will run into him again, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. And actually, I'm quite happy with the life that I have been building without him. So that, what was it? Thursday morning, right before noon, might have already been noon, at the San Francisco International Airport, on the way back from the Mariah Carey concert, will hopefully, fingers crossed, I hope I'm not jinxing myself, be the last and only time I am ever trapped on a plane with my first and only boyfriend, the man I've ever loved, the only man I've ever loved, the man who broke my heart and ended our combined 4 years together in a 7-minute FaceTime. Ta-ta!